Hey everybody, and welcome back for another video. Today's video is a short little podcast about the new LEGO Star Wars Holiday Special that premiered on Disney Plus. Yeah. So a little bit of backstory of what kind of made both of us excited about this is there's a holiday special that came out for Star Wars a long time ago. Not a long time ago. I'm sorry for those of you that are from the 80s or late 70s. There was a holiday special made back then, and because this one was called the holiday special, we were kind of wondering, hey, are these going to have some parallels? So yeah, we're going to talk about the little, it was about 47 minutes total with the credits. We're going to talk about it a little bit, give you our thoughts, maybe a rating at the end, and see what happens. So we kind of start the episode, and they're all getting ready for Life Day. What is called the holiday for Kashyyyk is Life Day. All the sequel trilogy characters are trying to get things ready for Chewbacca and his family, because his family is coming to the ship. Rey and Finn are working together, and Rey is trying to train Finn, because we saw at the end of episode 9 that he had a feeling, and apparently that implied that he was becoming more and more of a Jedi, a Force user. So Rey is taking it upon herself to be his master and teach him the ways of the Force.
And he's not very good.
No, it's pretty hysterical.
There's a little bit of a back and forth. He winds up using, I don't know if it was Luke's or not, but basically his helmet with the shield so he can't see, right? And he's using the training bot trying to hit it, and he's not very successful. He winds up taking off the shield and just whacking at it like a piñata. And there's a couple porgs off in the background that are kind of laughing at him, which are adorable.
Yeah, there's a good handful of porgs in this episode. So if you're a porg lover, this is the place for you. So after that happens, Rey's kind of disappointed in herself. She's upset that she's read all these Jedi texts and she doesn't really have the answer to be able to train Finn. So Rey decides to take off and go to another planet while everybody else is getting ready for Life Day, and she's trying to basically get the answer. What is she missing to be a successful master? And she goes to a place called Koriduku. So yeah, she goes off to this planet and she finds this item in a cave where there's like a Jedi symbol, and this item is like a time traveling type machine. It
looks like a wand with basically a stick with a bunch of colorful rocks on it. So kind of like a wand.
Yeah, and basically she just like a wand, she just kind of like moves it in a circle and it makes like a portal, and she can go to like anywhere she wants to in the Star Wars time frame. So her goal is to see all the different master-apprentice relationships throughout the Star Wars series and get a better idea of how she can be better at being a master for Finn.
Yeah, so we'll take a look at what place she goes to kind of at the end, but to wrap up the story, basically what happens was she winds up seeing all these different master and apprentice relationships, and Yoda's kind of there whispering in her ear the whole time, or at the end, I should say, where he's basically telling her, what do you see? And she says, well, I see masters and apprentices. And he says, what else? And she says, friendships. And so she winds up fixing all the different spaces in time that she had messed up by these characters following her through the portals by accident, because that's what happens when there's portals through time. So she fixes the timeline, everything's kind of back to normal, and she goes and spends the rest of her Life Day with her friends. So that's kind of how it wraps up. But when she's in these portals, they take a visit through all 9, or at least most of all 9 of the main movies.
Yeah, we kind of gather, so she goes to most of the locations, so all 9 movies plus The Mandalorian. There's a little snippet of Mandalorian in there as well. But between locations and characters, we believe that they cover all the films. She does jump to a couple places. I want to say more than once. I know she at least goes to Phantom Menace twice, because there's one shot which is kind of funny where Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan are in that room in the very beginning of episode 1, and Obi-Wan's complaining about trade disputes, and which is what everybody was upset about from episode 1. But when the gas came out, he stuck his butt out like he was ready to release some gas as well. So a little bit of comic relief in there.
I did not catch that.
Yeah, that's why Qui-Gon was like, "Hey, turn around," basically. But they also visit pod racing, so there are times where they visit these places multiple times. There was one other big subplot that was in the story. So there's the resistance part of everything where they're getting ready for Life Day and Rey is trying to figure out how to be a better master. But there's also the dark side part of the story where the Emperor basically finds out from one of the time travelers that Vader eventually is going to try to kill him, like throw him down the shaft. And so the Emperor is on a journey to find a better apprentice to replace Vader and to hopefully get rid of him. There was another funny thing, a funny reference. I don't know how or why, but Disney finds like the most random places to plug in their park from Disney World and Disneyland. Like Darth Vader went to get the Emperor a present for Life Day, and it was a mug that said like "Best Emperor Ever."
World's best emperor,
Yeah.
just kind of like world's best boss.
And he's like, "I got that from Batuu," which is the place from Disney World and Disneyland. So they find like different random places to kind of like plug it in, and it's like in your face almost. Like, go to Disney World, go to Disneyland.
And did it work?
I want to go. So,
I want to go.
They never show it, but they did reference it, and they mentioned like what is Disney World and Disneyland, like where do they make their money?
In the gift shop.
In the gift shops. And so they point out, I got this from the gift shop. You know, he had to go to tons of different gift shops to get it.
It makes me wonder if there really is a world's best emperor in the gift shop.
There better be. If we go and we find it, we're going to pick it up. And we're going to show you that it's real. So that about covers all the plots. What was your favorite funny part?
I think the funniest part for me was probably from episode 8 when there's one of Kylo Ren's servants or guards, or I don't know what his position is, but he comes to try to tell Kylo something, and it's when Kylo's shirtless, and so the guard's kind of all uncomfortable about it, and so he goes and leaves. And then that's when Emperor and Darth Vader kind of portal through, and then they see him shirtless, and you know they want to talk to him because the Emperor wants him to be like his new master or his new apprentice. And then they're all uncomfortable about him being shirtless too, so they're like, well, and one more thing, put on a shirt. So I just thought it was funny that they brought that back up.
Yeah, that was one of the weirdest things in the sequel trilogy, to be honest. Is like, we really needed to see his chest. We did.
I guess so.
My favorite part was there's a joke thrown in there. So when Rey is like bouncing between all these places, she happens to pick up Luke from episode 4. So he has no training, nothing. He's just running around literally with some blue milk, like a little carton. And he tells her something that triggers her to remember something. And she jokingly says, "Thanks for finally teaching me something." I thought that was kind of a funny poke at The Last Jedi, because he said he's supposed to, you know, train her in episode 8, but we really never ever see him actually train her personally. Everything she does, she just does on her own. Another really cool thing was we mentioned that this is based, well, I don't know, based, but it does have some parallels back to the original holiday special. When Chewys' family shows up, it is the family from the holiday special. Mm-hmm. So my favorite little guy there, Lumpy, makes a return. You may all know him from this GIF that we'll put up on screen for you. But we also get the grandpa, Itchy.
Itchy, yep.
We all love Itchy.
And Chewys' wife. I think one thing that I was just a little bit disappointed about was from the original holiday special, there was a Chewys wife watches a cooking show because she's trying to make something, and so I was really hoping that the chef from that cooking show would make it into this one because she was just hilarious. And we didn't get to see her in this one, and that's okay. But I was hoping she might make a cameo. What was your favorite cameo or character spot?
They go to Hoth, and Vader and Rey are fighting because he sees her as a Jedi, so he's trying to take her out. And it's the part right before Vader and everybody bust into the Rebel base, and they knock him over, and the Vader from Episode 5 walks in, and both the Vaders see each other, and they're very confused. They're trying to play off each other. The
stormtroopers don't know who's the real Darth Vader.
Yeah, they don't know who to listen to, but they even do, one of them says impressive, and the other one says most impressive. That was a very, very cool part of the episode. It was a very good fan service that I enjoyed. And actually, going back to your cooking show person, it would have been pretty cool to see her making the food. Because Poe didn't make enough food, so Zori brought a bunch of it. She carbon froze the food when she brought it in. I don't know if you noticed that, but it came in carbon freezing so that they just undo the freezing and then they have all their food. It's kind of like us, how you have frozen food in the fridge, and that's their way to do it in space, apparently.
Well, he had tried cooking basically a turkey. They call it something else. But he basically tried cooking a turkey on the thrusters of his ship. And needless to say, it's like when you try to cook a marshmallow in a fire and you stick it right in the flame, it's going to catch on fire. That doesn't work.
I do that because I don't like to eat them, but I do like fireballs. It's pretty cool. There's
another funny spot that I wanted to bring up, which was... Darth Vader and Emperor were trying to come up with what to name the Death Star 2, and the Emperor says Death Star 2, right? And Darth Vader says, "Well, I've got a good idea. What if we call it Starkiller Base?" And the Emperor's like, "That's a terrible idea. Why would we name it that?" And later, when he's trying to take Kylo Ren under his wing, Kylo Ren says something about Starkiller Base, and the Emperor says, "Oh, that's a great idea." And obviously, Darth Vader's not happy that was his idea.
Yeah. Pretty funny, the new favorite, everything is great, that the old one had said, and they hated it. Well, that's our little review / spiel. I don't know, what would you give it as a rating?
I think I'd probably give it about a 9, and I'm going to put it there because I really wanted that cooking lady to show up at some point. I think that would have been a very easy plug-in for cooking that turkey. But I did really like that we got to see all the characters from pretty much all the movies, and obviously it had that warm, fuzzy ending, feel good ending. Obviously, with it being the Lego style, they stuck very true to the typical Lego movies where there's that humor in it, and so I thought that was pretty cool. So I think I'd give it about a 9.
It's funny you mentioned something about the ending being warm and stuff. They actually do a play off of Rudolph because Yoda is the narrator, and when you get to the end, Yoda is in the same outfit as the snowman from Rudolph, the narrator.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Yeah, funny little plug in there. But I would agree. My rating would be a 9 out of 10 as well. I thoroughly enjoyed it, but I would knock it down a point because I was actually hoping for it to be a little more relatable to the original holiday special. Just something else besides, because the thing is, when Chewbacca's family arrives, they never mention their names. They just look like the people from the holiday special. So we watch holiday special every year. And
it's a tradition.
Yeah, we'll do a separate podcast about that at a later time. But we knew the names because we've watched it before. But anybody else watching it, you will not get the names from this little Lego special on Disney Plus. So that's disappointing to me, especially since they're important to the story. The whole point is that they're coming over. Why don't they at least say the names?
Right.
Unless Disney didn't really want to call their characters Itchy and Lumpy. That could have been it.
My only guess is because the original was so bad in a lot of people's eyes that they probably just didn't want to draw too much attention to it because it's kind of a sore spot. If it's You know, it's a tradition for us because we like it. We like that it's kind of stupid on purpose, I guess, which is, I'm sure, not the intent when it was made. But that's one of the reasons why we love it. And so I'm guessing they just didn't want to draw attention to it.
Yeah, that could be. Don't want to draw attention to that bad stuff from the past. So yeah, 9 out of 10 for me, 9 out of 10 for Sarah. And that about wraps it up for us. So if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, drop us a like if you liked the video, and drop us a comment. Did you watch the LEGO Star Wars Holiday Special on Disney Plus? Have you seen the original Holiday Special, and are you looking forward to our video in the future talking about it? As always, everybody, thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.